Right now, somewhere in the world, a grown adult is screaming at a television screen. Not because their house is on fire, not because someone they love is in danger, because a man they have never met kicked a ball in the wrong direction. And here is what makes that strange. The screaming adult knows it is just a game. They would tell you that themselves. And yet, in the moment, in that split second when the ball hits the post instead of the net, something ancient and overwhelming takes over. The heart rate spikes, the fists clench, the stomach drops, the eyes fill. It feels like life and death, because to a very old part of your brain, it is. To understand why, you have to go somewhere your brain has never left. You have to go back to the savannah. Back to a time when the group you belonged to was not a preference, it was not a hobby. It was the difference between surviving the night and not surviving it. Your ancestors did not choose their tribe the way you choose a football club. They were born into it. And that tribe, those specific people, that specific patch of land, that specific way of doing things was the only thing standing between them and everything that wanted to kill them. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar at the University of Oxford spent decades studying the social architecture of early human groups. He found that humans evolved to maintain stable social bonds with roughly 150 people, a number now known as Dunbar's number. Beyond that, the cognitive load of tracking relationships, loyalties, and hierarchies becomes too great for the primate brain to manage. Inside that group of 150, your ancestors knew who to trust, who to fight beside, and who to die for. The group was everything. And the brain that evolved inside that world is the same brain sitting inside your skull right now. It has not fundamentally changed. It still runs the same ancient software. And that software has one overriding priority. Figure out which group you belong to, protect it at all costs, and treat threats to the group as threats to your own survival. This is where football enters the story. When you put on that shirt, when you sit in that stadium or that living room surrounded by people wearing the same colors, your brain does not process this as entertainment. It processes it as tribe. The colors are not branding. They are the markers your ancient brain uses to distinguish us from them. The chants are not songs. They are the coordinated vocalizations that your ancestors used to signal group size and unity to potential threats. The stadium is not a venue. It is territory. Neuroscientist Pascal Muhlenberg at Monash University studied what happens in the brain when people watch their team play. He found that when fans observe their own team's players, the brain activates the same neural regions involved in self-representation. In other words, your brain does not fully distinguish between you and your team. When your striker runs, something in your motor system fires as if your own legs are moving. When your goalkeeper dives, your body braces. The boundary between self and group dissolves at the neural level. This is why a goal feels physical. It is not a metaphor. Your brain is genuinely processing it as something that happened to you. And when the other team scores, your brain registers that as a threat to the group, not a disappointment, a threat. The amygdala, the ancient alarm system buried deep in your brain, fires. Stress hormones flood the body. The same cascade of neurochemical responses that your ancestors experienced when a rival tribe crossed into their territory is the same cascade you experience when a rival team scores in the 89th minute. Your rational mind knows it is a game. Your ancient brain does not care. Psychologist Daniel Wann at Murray State University has spent more than 30 years studying sports fandom and its psychological effects. He found that highly identified fans, people who feel a deep personal connection to their team, show measurable changes in testosterone levels depending on whether their team wins or loses. Winners experience a testosterone surge. Losers experience a drop. These are the same hormonal patterns documented in animals after dominance contests. The game ends, the biology doesn't. And it goes deeper than hormones. Wann also found that fans who strongly identify with a team show higher levels of self-esteem, lower levels of loneliness, and stronger feelings of belonging and purpose, even in everyday life when no game is being played. The team is not just something they watch, it is something they are. Strip it away, and you strip away part of their identity, part of their place in the social world, part of what makes them feel that they matter. This is why relegation feels like grief. This is why a championship feels like personal triumph. This is why you will defend your club's honor to a stranger at a party with an intensity that surprises even you. Your brain is not overreacting. It is doing exactly what it was built to do, protecting the group that it has decided you belong to. Now consider what happens when the FIFA World Cup arrives. The tribe scales up. It is no longer your city or your club. It is your entire nation. 100,000 years of tribal wiring suddenly has a canvas the size of a country to paint on. When your national team walks out onto that pitch, your brain is not watching 11 athletes in colored shirts. It is watching your entire group, your entire people step into the arena. Every collective memory, every shared story, every wound, and every triumph your nation has ever carried gets compressed into 90 minutes of football. Brazil in 1970, Argentina in 1986, France in 1998, England still waiting. These are not just matches, they are mythology. They are the stories a group tells itself about who it is, what it is capable of, and whether it matters in the world. And in 2026, for the first time in history, the World Cup expands to 48 teams, more nations, more tribes, more of humanity gathered under one impossible, ancient, completely irrational shared belief that what happens on a rectangle of grass between two sets of goalposts actually means something. It does not mean something because of the rules. It means something because your brain decided long ago, in a world without stadiums or television or FIFA rankings, that the fate of the group is the most important thing in the world. You were never just watching a game. You were never just a fan. You were doing what your brain has always done, finding your people, defending your colors, and feeling in the most animal part of yourself that winning or losing is never really just about the score. It is about survival. It always was. And the next time you feel your heart stop as the ball floats toward the goal, that is not passion. That is 100,000 years of evolution, holding its breath.